Today our group will present our project. For the content, there are three content. First is how the data travel according OSI layer. For the second, subnetting calculation, how to identify the IP address. For the third, TCP IP configuration, how from student PC to online learning system server scenario. Our project must be able to explain the data travel according OSI layer. Next, not to calculate the subnet. Lastly, understand how to configure TCP IP. First, it comes from basic layer. OUM lecturer is trying to access the online system server located in the OUM network facility. Then, on this first layer is the physical layer where OUM lecturer is using the PC send the packet which is transmits into a raw bit stream over the physical medium. It's use a copper cross over cable to connect the modem which is a router, which is just an example like the lecturer wants to make an assignment for the student. Next is data link layer. For the data link layer, the packet will be through the data link layer in the second layer and it contains a MAC address which is physical addressing. In this layer, it will be defines the format of data on the network before it goes out from home networks. As you can see, the picture that we already make, this have a UM lecture PC and home router, and you can see the packet at the router is contain the MAC address. Other than that, for the network layer, as you can see, we have correct home router and IT center. For the network layer, it will decide which physical part that data will make. Like you can see, the packet contains the logical address, and then the packet will forward by use a router protocol for logical addressing, while the router protocol are used for path determination. We use NLT protocol to send the packet. Intervalent used to divide the broadcast domains in a LAN environment. After that, for the transport layer, the transport layer function is to check the frame is error, they have error or not. Then if don't have error, the frame will acknowledge again and go to the next layer. This layer will transmit the data using transmission protocols, including TCP and UDP. Then, for the session layer, function session layer is it will maintain the connection and they have a responsible for controlling ports and session. For example, we can see the picture IT center. The frame will reach to OUM network and it will check again at the router IT center. Last but not least, for the presentation layer, the function is encrypt data and decrypt data. For example, student is encrypt data and for the server is decrypt data. For the last layer is the application layer. Application layer is the function. The function is the layer used by user software such a browser. Like example, we have shown ulearn.utm.edu.my. Then this is we call it as protocol.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Nushaira. I will explain how to calculate subnetting. First of all, we have to decide the IP address class for home and OUM campus network. We use class C for home network and class B for OUM class network. Before make calculation subnetting, we have to know the number of subnet and network address we want to use. So in OUM campus network, we want 9 subnet because 8 for faculty and 1 for IT center. The network address we use is 172.16.0.0. This is class B and default subnet mask is 255.255.0.0. Okay, we start this calculation subnetting with first step is calculate number of bit borrow because we want the 9 subnet, so we can use the formula 2 power of s equal needed subnet where s is bit borrow. In number of subnet do not have 9 subnet, so we have to take number of subnet more than and almost than 1. So the more than and almost 9 is 60 subnet. Number of bit borrow is 4 bit. Second step is calculate quantity of subnet. We know the bit borrow is 4, so just calculate 2 power of 4 equals 60 subnet. So total of subnet is 60. To calculate the custom subnet mask is convert bit borrow to 1 represent for subnet and convert bit left to 0 that represent for host. After that, convert binary to decimal. So 11110000 convert to decimal, we get 240. So the custom subnet mask is 255.255.240.0 with prefix 25, and total of subnet is 60 subnet. Third step is calculate quantity of hosts for each subnet. The formula is 2 power of h, where h is the bit host. So 2 power of 12 equal 4096 hosts. To know usable IP address, we have to minus 2. So the usable IP address is 2 power of 12 minus 2 equal 4064 hosts. We have to minus 2 because one IP for network address and another one for broadcast address. The last step is calculate IP address table. To make IP address table, we have to know the magic number for network address. So the number 0, that color red, is the range IP. So we calculate 2 power of 4 equal 60. So the magic number of network is 60. This is complete IP address table that have 60 subnet. From this network address, the IP address 172.60.48.1 is assigned as the fourth available IP address. That we declare the address for online learning system server. So next Sharia will proceed explain about TCP IP configuration.
Okay, so next is the TCP IP Windows settings, which is to configure the IPv4 on our device. So first we have to go to the Wi-Fi icon at the bottom right of the Windows. Then we click on the network and internet setting. After that, we just have to find the Wi-Fi name and then click change the adapter, and then click select Wi-Fi and then manage non-network to manage a Wi-Fi network. And after that, we have to choose the network that we want to change, and then right click and select properties. After that, we have to go to we have to find the IPv4 protocol, and then has to double click on that one. So next we have to key in the IP address that we want to configure. So first, for the IP address, we have to key in 172.16.48.2, and then for subnet mask we have to key in 255.255.240, and then lastly is the default gateway, which we enter 172.16.48.1, and then have to click OK to make sure that we apply the changes. And the next step is we have to check whether the changes that we do has been applied or not. So first we open the CMD, which is the command prompt, and then if you prop up the screen like this, and then we have to enter IP config, which will show the information about the IP. So after that, we just have to check here. As you see, this is the IPv4 address, and all the changes that we do has been applied. So in conclusion, doing this lab project, we learned a lot of things, such as how to configure, how to calculate subnet mask, how to configure IP address, and we think it is a really good experience for us. So that's all from us. Thank you.